How you doing, everybody? West Coast Johnny here. Today we're working on a 1978 Scamp trailer. More specifically, what we're doing today is we're going to put some Por-15, which stands for paint over rust. It's like a rust preventer, and it's also an encapsulator. It's really cool. But you know, you got to prepare everything right. So all this is brand new. The Scamp trailer company didn't even put any pieces down here or across here or anything. All they had was 3/4 inch angle iron, little strip of 3/4 inch angle iron, and then it actually went underneath this sheet metal, and that was it. They had nothing running down the middle. It was the craziest thing. Anyways, we're reconfiguring all this. It's going to be way better than a 2020 Scamp trailer because it's never going to fall apart. But what we're doing today, we're going to get all the sand out of here. We had to do some sandblasting before we did some welding to get some of that rust out of some hard to get areas underneath. So all that you see here, we're going to clean this really good. And then all this rusty, it's like sheet metal that goes across here. We're going to clean that really well, and we're going to put the Por-15 over it so that in the future this won't happen. It won't get rusty, and it's just going to pretty much seal it all up. And we want to get to our flooring, so we don't want to put the floor right over the bare metal. So we're going to seal all this up with Por-15, and that's what we got right there. We got the quart. I didn't know you can get 6 little pints, but that's okay. Then we got the metal prep. Important step. I can't just put some degreaser on and hose this off because we're on the inside of a shop. We got a lot of projects and cars and things and motorcycles in here. We can't get the floor all watered down, so we're going to probably clean it really good with acetone, and then we'll go ahead and start with the metal prep. Okay, so we're going to use some acetone to clean as much as we can, and once it's all clean, then we can go ahead and use our metal prep. But right now we're just going to vacuum up the sand and just wipe it all down with acetone and get it as clean as we can. One thing that happened to me when I went to the auto body store when I picked this up, this comes in a little kit, but this doesn't fit this. So they must have put the wrong one in the bag. So my tip to you is when you go buy this stuff anywhere, make sure they give you the right spray tip. We went ahead and put some plastic down because we don't want to get any of the cleaner dripping rust onto the concrete or the Por-15 itself, because that probably will never come off. And this is the inside of a carport, so we don't want to get it all messy. But it only took about a minute to do. It's really worth it if you don't want to get any stains on your driveway. We're always saying we're going to be super careful. Okay, we just sprayed it down with the metal prep, which is basically a phosphoric acid solution, has zinc phosphate in it. So make sure you wear a respirator, not just a dust mask. Make sure you wear eye protection and skin protection. This stuff is not good on your skin, and it can really mess you up. So, and the rust is dripping all over. So I'm glad that I did put the plastic down. We also have an industrial fan blowing and sucking air out of the shop because you don't want to breathe all the fumes in. I'm going to go ahead and give it another coat. Okay, we sprayed it all down again. It's very wet. You just don't want it to dry. It takes 20 minutes to have an effect on the metal, 20 to 30 minutes. So it's kind of like if you were to put a part inside of a parts washer and just let it sit down in the acid for half an hour and then pull it up. That's what we want. But because we can't do that, we got to bring the acid or solution to the project. So basically, the zinc phosphate that is in this stuff is what's going to stop what's known as the anode process. Because in metals, like iron metals, any kind of steel, where you have, it's like galvanic reactions. It's all negative ions and positive ions, and you know, I took metallurgy classes in college. I learned a lot of that. It's super, super interesting. But there's multiple steps to do in metal. So anyways, the difference, like I said, about the stuff we're using is the zinc phosphate. It really, really stops the anode process of corrosion. So I'm really excited to get this painted. So we're only doing what we can see in here, because once we do this, we're going to put flooring back down, and then we're going to start doing all the fiberglassing like we did in here. This is all new 3/4 inch fiberglass wood. And so what we're going to end up doing is we're going to lift this whole trailer up on its end like this, and then we can paint the bottom of the frame once we get it out of this carport. It barely got in here. All right, so we finished applying the Por-15. I brushed it on every surface, everywhere that was exposed that I could get to. And the reason I really wanted to do this was because once the flooring is in, and all the flooring back here and the cabinets and the fiberglass work, and then the flooring goes down itself over the wood, you're not going to ever see this. So you just want to know that you did what you could to protect it. So I gave it 2 coats, nice thick coats. The stuff goes on really easy. It brushes on really easy. It feels thick, yet it goes on like it's kind of watery. It's kind of hard to explain, but the viscosity of it's great. It's great for painting. If you like to paint, I love painting, this is really cool. So that's how it turned out. We got everywhere we could. Hi, thanks for watching. Please stay tuned. We have a lot of projects coming up, which will involve using paint sprayers, welding, different types of welding, different various stages of fiberglass repair, metals. We're doing some giant wood walls right now. We're going to have a lot of rocks being put in this. It's going to be really neat. So but one thing, when you're using the Por-15, make sure you wear safety glasses, long sleeves, rubber gloves, and a respirator, because the stuff is horrific. At least it just, not as bad as the metal etching, but it just has a horrible smell. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.